welcome back to FPS Creator Classics, where we take a look at interesting and original games normally developed in FPS Creator, but today we're doing something a little different. We're going to take a look at a game that was made in the successor to FPS Creator, FPS Creator X10. So some of you might be aware that after releasing FPSC in 2005, the game creators then went on to try and create an upgraded version, which had a few quality of life improvements to the editor, but really the main reason was to cram it full of the latest, well, at the time, the latest graphical techniques of DirectX 10. But because it was a Windows Vista exclusive, and also because not many people had DirectX 10 capable cards, not many people bought it, and after about 18 months they pretty much abandoned it and turned their attention back to what was now called FPS Creator Classic. So most people that I talk to about X10 really just say that it was full of bugs. It's been an absolute nightmare trying to find games that were actually made in this engine. It doesn't seem like anybody actually released anything with it. But I have found one game. This is called Space Warrior. It's by GhostLol. But it was actually made in 2016, so many years after X10 had long been sort of abandoned. And the flavor text that comes with it kind of prepares you for what you might be in for. You are the space warrior, and you are killing aliens, zombies, and monsters, exploring other planets, finding keys to open doors, and so on. 8 levels full of action. Game is made in FPS Creator X10, so you can expect poor optimization, ridiculous long loading times, ridiculous small levels, and lots of bugs. Huge disappointment, just like the FPSC X10 engine itself. One thing I like about this game, it allowed me to practice some level design, so my next game will be better. So I'm kind of going to use this as a way of looking back at X10 as a product and just seeing how it compares to FPS Creator. One thing I will say is that the game has been split into 8 separate exe files. Presumably there's some kind of memory leak that prevents you from having one exe that just has all of the levels in it. I mean, that's pretty classic FPS Creator. But yeah, so you will need to go in, and I would recommend changing the compatibility to Windows Vista. I have tried running it on Windows 10, and it always seemed to crash for me in certain places. It crashed. It still crashes on Windows Vista, to be fair, but it crashes a bit less. So you may have more luck running it on Windows Vista compatibility mode, simply because, I mean, that is the operating system it was designed to run on, right? So, yeah. So, anyway, the story is quite vague, and I have already tried to play this game before. It was quite arcadey, but it should be a good way for us to draw comparisons. So let's have a look. And immediately we've got a few elements taken over from the original FPS Creator with these sort of menu elements. Custom image in the background. The music is very much FPS Creator Classic. So if we click on New Game, we've got some custom loading screens for each of these EXEs, and they do give a little preview of the level ahead. And as you can see, we've got kind of Space Marine-y type people and what look like sort of zombie cyborg things. I know for a fact that these characters were packaged with X10. They were designed to show off the shader techniques that came as standard with this engine. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, and yeah, we're in a kind of like a mine or something, or some sort of landing zone anyway. So we've got some Space Marines here. These look like allies because they're not shooting at me. We'll pick up our weapon. Still no hand on the weapon model. Oh, I should warn you, there's a weird bug in this game, at least there is for me. I run 2 monitors. What you're looking at now is my first monitor, and to my right is a second monitor. But if I pan my kind of cursor over, it doesn't stay within the bounds of the game, and actually now my cursor has appeared on my second monitor. That's a bit of a problem, because if I need to do a sharp turn to the right and shoot something, I end up clicking on monitor 2, which can start messing up OBS and doing all kinds of stuff. So basically I'm going to have to keep doing little kind of left pirouettes to make sure that my cursor is constantly on monitor 1. I'm guaranteed to forget it. I mean, it was a massive pain in the arse when I tried to record this earlier today. So I'm going to try not to do it again. But anyway, so we've got some custom assets here. We've got this dropship, which looks like a custom model. Could be from the community at the time. I'm noticing the footstep sounds are very fast. It's almost like we've got tiny feet. Now, I don't know whether these enemies will follow us. Let's have a quick look. So there were keys that you could command them with. So I believe F, G, and H did something. No, okay, nothing. All right, these guys can't be teammates necessarily. They won't follow us. But what about... oh, wow, look at this. We've got a battle going on. I'm not quite sure why the cyborg thing just sort of sprang back to life. Also, a revolver is a bit of a weird choice for a space game, but sure, we'll go with it. So we've got one Space Marine guy, and I wonder if we can nick some of these shotguns. Yeah, we can. Don't fully understand why there's kind of just lava all over the place, but that's cool. Now, will this guy follow us, I wonder? Ah, yes, here we go. Right, so F commands this Marine to hopefully follow me. Is he going to follow me? If I move these boxes out of the way, will he follow me? I hope he does. F? Maybe he can't navigate this labyrinth of lava. Okay, well, we'll just leave him to it. But I do know that allies were a thing in X10. It was a feature right out of the box. Just like FPS Creator before it, X10 was developed in Dark Basic Professional, and so just realised that. Look at that mountain spew. I like that little Easter egg there. Yes, so FPS Creator X10 was developed in Dark Basic Professional, and they took some of the modules that were made for Dark Basic Professional and ported them over. So Dark AI was a particularly popular one that wasn't in FPS Creator at this time, but that allowed you to have enemies, and they would actually kind of fight back and kill... sorry, did I say enemies? I meant allies. So yeah, you could have allies and enemies, and you could also have neutral. Those were the sort of three factions that you could have. And I've got a feeling neutral, if you fired on them, they would become enemies. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so maybe these Marines will follow us if I press F. Yeah, see, look, they're now following me. So they will do different things. So F makes them follow. I guess that makes sense. F for follow. G makes them attack. So if there was an enemy over there, they would hopefully go and attack it. And then H, I think, is kind of like hold ground. So, yeah, I mean, it does make some logical sense. I'd like them to follow me, hopefully, because it would be good for them to kind of help me out in the gunfight to come. Some enemies are about to spawn in at the top of this ridge. Oh, damn. I didn't do my little left pirouette thing. It can't be an FPSC game without a little bit of exploding barrels. Well, this model's quite cool. I don't know what it does, but nice little sci-fi prop there. Okay, so our Space Marines are following us now, which is good. I keep pressing F, but that's actually the button to kind of do stuff, like interact with the environment. So, yeah, I'm hoping that has kind of opened something. Oh no, it's crashed. No. Okay, alright, well I guess we'll give that one another go then. Okay, so I made it back, but this time my Space Marine friends did not survive. Oh, yes he did. Okay, washing machines and microwaves in space, that's interesting. Okay, so level 1 complete. So we didn't actually miss that much, but good to complete it anyway. Okay, so let's move on to level 2. Ah, look, if you see these character models, you can kind of see the normal maps are quite strong on them. That was one of the key selling features of this game, really, was that the characters that it came with really took advantage of those sort of proper shader effects. Actually, the ones that came with FPSC also had normal maps and spec maps, and they could look almost as good as this, but I actually think the texture resolution was higher for all the assets in X10. That probably didn't help the stability issues, to be honest, because like FPSC before it, X10 makes you load in everything at the initializing of the level. That's why the loading times are so long, is because it has to load every model, every texture that's in that level, every sound effect. And even by this point in modern games at the time, texture streaming was kind of the norm. But we still don't have that today, even in Game Guru Max. So yeah, we're still some way behind the times. So it does make for some long loading times. But yeah, so the lighting is very vibrant in this game. Oh, okay, and here we can see one of the main selling points for X10, which is the water effects, which I don't think water existed in FPS Creator at this time. It was only added later. And yeah, so, and if you have a look at some items in the water, I'll just tip these canisters over, you can kind of see that there's like a shimmer there, like a refraction. That was all very new back in the day. And you could change the colour of the water, and if the water was deep enough, you could swim. And in fact, you can see on our HUD, we've actually got lives, health, and air. Air was almost like a rechargeable resource. If you went swimming, the air would deplete, and if you ran out of air for long enough, you would start to drown. And that was all stuff that kind of came in with X10. I don't know if I can pick that shotgun up or get up to this gantry. I'd like to think I can. Maybe not. Do my little pirouette. Notice he wasn't even holding a weapon, but somehow he was shooting me. So you'd have to say that even though the AI is kind of improved, supposedly, it's really not that much better than FPSC. Dark AI has not made the enemies any smarter. It's just enabled factions, and it doesn't look like there are any allies in this level. But you can tell we're in a slightly different period of PC gaming here, because switches and things are activated using the F key, which was not commonplace when FPS Creator came out in 2005. That's why all the doors and stuff are kind of press enter, whereas in this game it's press F. And this shotgun is literally mowing those enemies down. So these enemies all came with X10, they were kind of exclusives. And really, if you can find a copy of X10 now, you're basically buying it to get these characters, because they do look pretty cool. They've still got the same animation sets as the FPS Creator characters. All sorts of weird things going on with the lighting here. Look at how it kind of is blue and then suddenly kind of goes yellow. Not even sure what that's about. But yeah, so the water effects were one of the big selling points of this engine. And buoyancy was a thing as well. Whoops, I am all out of... Been a little bit of an OBS issue. Let me just pull that back into place. There we go. Okay, good. Right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, he is dead, but he's still standing. That's how Elton John of him. I'm not prepared for that. Have I got anything else? I really wish I had more shotgun shells. No, I guess it's all revolver. So you saw the enemies there dying, ragdolling, typical ragdoll physics going on there, but that was an exclusive feature of X10. Your characters would ragdoll, or the new ones would anyway. And here we go, a key finding mission. This is pretty classic FPSC stuff. You can see most of these assets though are just the same ones that came with FPSC, although if we look at things like these posts with the transparent sections, they look higher res somehow. I don't know whether it's just because I'm playing it at a different resolution, but I'm pretty sure the assets have higher resolution textures in X10. Oh. Where'd he go? I mean, fair play to him, he did kind of walk around. Yeah, but definitely some bugs in this game, because those enemies are kind of, they're dead and then they're not dead, but then they are dead. And here's another feature that was exclusive to X10 back in the day, window refractions. So it wasn't just water that could refract things, it was windows. And so, and this is a feature that still, to this day, has not made its way into Game Guru or Game Guru Max. But I just think it's a nice addition. I really think this is something we could do with. It's a really nice kind of pretty thing that just adds a little bit of realism to the world. Okay, I really don't have that much ammo. I've got almost nothing. And I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm dead. Perfect. Okay, so let's try again, shall we? Gotta make sure I keep doing my little pirouettes. Where am I going from here? Is it out here? Ah, it's him. Yes, that's right. Gotta get up to that gantry. Okay, we have a key. A very big key. And that's kind of what I meant when I said it's a little bit arcadey. It's, you know, everything's quite big. The pickups are nice and big. The lighting is, you'd say, probably quite cartoonish. Like, it's very bold colours. But yeah, I mean, when you've got bugs like this, there's no point in kind of going for out-and-out realism, because it will just break. The immersion will break literally the second that the system is pushed. Okay, cool. So that was level 2. I'm not even sure. Well, it just crashed, but I'm pretty sure that was an end of game. Just double check the compatibility mode on this level before we play. Okay, good. So yeah, as you can see, every now and again I kind of forget to do my little pirouettes, and my cursor goes off onto monitor 2, and then I end up clicking something in OBS, and I actually kind of go out of the game for a sec. So I got a feeling the audio still actually records, which is strange. But yeah, I'll try not to do that. So far, all of the weapons that we've had so far have been FPS Creator weapons, perhaps just slightly improved versions, better quality textures. There was a unique weapon that came with X10. I think it was called the Auto Chug or something. It was some sort of shotgun thing. It was basically X10's answer to the BFG 9000 from Doom. But yeah, so we haven't come across that yet, but we may do later on. Oh, there's a lot here. Okay, so I'm all out of ammo. I'm going to have to go for a little run over to this shotgun and hope that... I'm gonna die. Yep, knew it. You can see the bloom effects are pretty strong in this game. Of course, bloom was sort of all the rage back then, and again, that was another feature that was unique to FPS Creator X10. Took a little while for it to come into Classic, but it did eventually make it. So far from a gameplay perspective, it's very much just your standard shooting and switches and keys. So nothing kind of innovative necessarily, but it's quite, you know, competently put together, I suppose. The thing about these FPS creator engines is obviously they're not built to do outdoor environments, so to do stuff like this is actually quite a challenge. And I know that Ghost Lol would go on to kind of perfect these techniques in his later FPS creator games, but you can see the beginnings of it here with just sort of, you know, really these are just segments with a kind of a cliff texture and a sort of a mud texture on the floor and a few palm trees, but it's just enough to sell the fact that you're outside somewhere, and it feels just a little bit different from your average sort of corridor shooter type experience. Now I wonder if I can get up to that little room up there. I don't know if there's a way up around here. No, I don't think there is. And there was nothing in here, was there? I couldn't get into here. Okay. And that was where the key came from. Okay, so keep doing my little spins. At least this shotgun is almost a one-hit kill. Okay, nothing up here. Ah, and that has opened doors. Wonder if I can get that rocket launcher. Oh, damn it. No, I literally flew in completely the opposite direction. Okay, so they can't make their way upstairs by the looks of it, but never mind. I'm going to have another go at trying to get that rocket launcher. I want that rocket launcher. Although, actually, come to think of it, because these are separate EXEs, I guess when we go to level 4, these weapons won't carry over, will they? So, I mean, great, I've got a rocket launcher, but I'm now about to head off inside, and that's probably the end of the level. No, not quite. Ah, yeah, there we go, I told you. Also, what's up with this game complete screen? Look at that guy's jaw. Okay, so let's continue on to level 4. So this looks like it could be an interior level. These segments I recognise as the kind of Armoury segments, I think they're called, from FPS Creator. Although I think they look a little bit nicer here. Again, I think that's either down to the fact that the shaders are actually working, or they're just higher resolution textures than what we had in FPSC. As most of the textures that came in FPSC were actually this kind of high quality, and the shader effects did work. They did have their normal maps, their specular maps, you know, they were capable of producing visuals of this quality to some degree. The problem was that the engine itself would keel over the moment you switched full shader effects on, and for a lot of users it was just impossible to work that way. So most games shipped without full shader effects, and so you'll find that a lot of community made assets didn't bother with things like normal maps and spec maps and things like that, because, you know, back in the day there was just no point. No one was releasing games that took advantage of those full shader effects. And the other thing to say as well is that, and actually perhaps we can look out for this on this level, but I'm not really seeing any light mapping. I've not really been paying any kind of close attention to it, but there are lights in the environment, but they don't seem to be casting any shadows. Or if they are, they must be so sort of low resolution and soft that they're barely indistinguishable from just, you know, the normal lighting. Okay, well, these are casting shadows, but they are dynamic objects, so that doesn't count. What I'm looking for is actual shadows cast by static objects in the environment. And we have an Uzi now. That's interesting. It's quite a powerful little gun, that. So yeah, definitely some good selection of weapons here. I guess with nothing being carried over, yeah, you can afford to just kind of give the player whatever they want, whatever they need. Okay, this door doesn't... Ah, here we go. Now it opens. Uh-oh. If you look at FPS Creator and think about the fact that it came out in 2005, you can kind of tell what sort of games it was trying to... I'm not going to say rip off. I'll say pay homage to. Let's put it that way, politely. So 2005, you know, it was a big time for World War II shooters. So a lot of the assets were World War II focused. The sci-fi shooter, I guess that had always been a bit of a thing. So yeah, I mean, there were sci-fi assets in there as well. But when you get up to kind of 2007 and the kind of games that were big at this sort of time, I guess that would have been things like Gears of War. Was that out this sort of time? Certainly Halo was a massive thing. You know, they were more sort of Space Marine-y type games in this era, and so you can tell that the game creators obviously looked at that and thought, okay, well, let's make our assets kind of pay homage to that. And also, I think it's probably easier to show off the shader effects with sci-fi assets because, you know, you've got excuses to put in things like these emissive, you know, these illumination maps, really just for a bit of extra detail. And there's sort of extra bump mapping that you can just put in just for the hell of it. So where are we headed, by the way? Because we picked up a key for something and I didn't actually see where it was. Ah, it must be here. Yes, it is. Right. But we are going to need... Let's take our shotgun. There's another one of those ragdolling characters. It does seem like... Oh my god, look at this. So this is what I mean about it being quite arcadey. Like, why would those enemies just be sat in those alcoves doing nothing? Waiting for me to come along. But, you know, I mean, it makes for an interesting surprise when you're playing the level. And I will say that, you know, I'm quite enjoying the level design. It's not necessarily realistic, but it kind of plays quite well. What the hell is that guy throwing grenades? Ah, right, that must be the, I think they're calling them flechettes, but I might have that totally wrong. But they're basically throwable grenades. Obviously all grenades are throwable. What I mean is they're like boomerang shaped. I don't know if they were in the original FPS Creator, I can't remember now. I feel like they must have been. But not many people used them. Okay, so we've opened up something, but not that door. Ah. I really should have brought a bigger gun. Right, good. Nice use of a window there to show you exactly where that switch actually opens. I'm noticing my vision's a bit red. I suppose that's because I'm not at full health? Or is that just a bug? I don't know. Okay, end of, what was that, level 4? An interior level, which has been a little bit unusual for this game so far. We've had mostly exterior levels. So let's try level 5. Now this one looks like it could be exterior again. I do feel like the difficulty is just gradually ramping up a little bit. I suppose you'd expect that, but I suppose that's nice to see. Gives you a good sense of progression. Also, I don't know where these skyboxes came from. I'm not sure whether they shipped with X10 or whether they're kind of custom made or community made or whatever, but I certainly don't remember them. Okay, I skipped past that loading screen because who wants to look at a loading screen? But immediately you can see these are not made by the game creators, and they are definitely community made or possibly even custom made by Ghost Lol himself. They are static, but the reason I'm pointing them out is because they don't have these nice shader maps. You see here, you can kind of see there's like a shine to things. That's all caused by a specular map that is actually part of that texture. Well, this doesn't have any of that. Any of the kind of shading and the sort of 3D effect of it is all just done through a single texture. And this is what I mean. At this time in the community, all the assets being produced, none of them really took advantage of shader effects. Oh, we've got a switch here. Oh, nice! Nice little way to get rid of a couple of enemies there. It was kind of weird how the boxes bounced up, but that's a really simple simple thing to do as well. You set these boxes to not spawn at the start of the level. You make sure they're dynamic, obviously. They've got to be affected by gravity. Place them up here, and then give them the same name. And then over on the switch, in FPS Creator, you'd be able to right-click on it, and in its properties you can sort of identify the name of an entity that is activated when that switch is thrown. And in this case, he would have just used the name of those boxes. And so when they're activated, obviously they are spawned into life and they just fall and crush those enemies. It's nice that actually the physics kind of did enough damage to those enemies to actually kill them. They must have had very low health for that to work. There's a second one. Give me your shotgun. I like these shotguns. Look at the size of that key. But I guess you're not going to miss it, are you? Because it's so massive. So yeah, not the most realistic, but easier to play. God, there's so many of them. Look at it. Oh wow, there's another one of these flechette guys. In some kind of loading area, I think. Can't get through that door. Some health up there I'd like to get. I've triggered something, I don't know what. Oh, real frame rate dip there. It's really struggling. And see, this was one of the problems with X10. These graphics come at a cost, and I think anyone who's used FPS Creator, certainly in those early days, will know that yeah, it really did chug a little bit. But X10 was even worse for that, I think. And unlike with Classic, you know, the performance was gradually improved over time. Not so here, unfortunately. Probably because it was abandoned. It's really disconcerting when you kill an enemy, but they don't actually die. Okay, so let's grab this rocket launcher, and hopefully we can get some health. And if there is anything through this door, we should be well equipped to deal with it. Nothing so far. Oh, there's a massive spider thing. What on earth is that? Okay, well, one hit kill with the rocket launcher did the trick, so that was good. I'm noticing some fog effects as well, and I don't remember if that was a thing in FPSC. I think it may have been, but maybe not straight away, I'm not sure. Ow, what was that? Smaller spider. We're all out. Don't want to use my rocket launcher. There we go, the shotgun will always do the trick. Oh wow, that is a massive spider. Did it die? I think that rocket launcher guy over there, I think because he fired at me, the explosion actually killed that spider. Still, interesting to have a different enemy type, one that is very much a proximity-based enemy, rather than a kind of a hit scan weapon, you know, or even a projectile weapon touting enemy, because we've had those guys with the flechettes and rocket launchers. So yeah, despite only using stock enemies, well, apart from those spiders, a good variety of enemies. Just double check that we are in compatibility mode for Windows Vista on this one as well. So level 6, and it looks like we're going to face more of those spiders, so that's not a one-off thing. It's going to be a bit of a running theme. I thought it might be like a mini boss, but I guess not if we're going to face so many of them. I wonder if there is a boss. It feels like the kind of game that should have a boss, you know, because it's got that arcadey feel. It feels like there should be a big bad enemy at the end, but we shall see. It might just be a huge number of these things. Okay, so we have our revolver. Do we have anything else? No, just the revolver at this point. I'm actually going to save that barrel. It does seem like every barrel is explosive. So there's no... Oh. OBS. Right. Okay, my vision is now permanently red and I don't know why. Oh, and there's another one of these big uns. I want that rocket launcher, that's going to help me kill it. Oh my god, not if I can't get out of the way in time. Right, let's try that. There we go. Nice. These spiders ain't no match for a rocket launcher. Even though that enemy did not die. Okay, the flechette thing helped with the big spider. Will it help with this guy? Nope, because I missed completely. Okay, not good. Don't have any ammo, don't have any ammo. I do have ammo. There we go. Ah, that was nice of you to fall down. I triggered something there. I heard the little trigger noise. Oh, a chain gun. I want that. Hang on. Or minigun, I should say. Wow, lots of stuff in here. So health, a new weapon, a switch, and a key. I mean, I suppose I should start running around with that minigun. Let's have a go. Where is it? There we go. Are these enemies new? Or are they... Yeah, okay. No, they are actually dead. Oh, it's so weird to see enemies that I've already killed walking. I'm not sure going down there to get that health was actually worth it, you know. I don't think it gave me back as much as it took. Okay, so... well, we've not been up here yet, and I don't know how you get up there without... Hang on, there's a thing there. That might teleport me. Didn't see these used much in FPS Creator, but... Yeah, look at that. Right, more health. Bazooka. I don't know if that guy's actually alive. He was. Okay, good. I still don't know how I'll get up there. Let's try these boxes. It wouldn't be an FPS Creator game without a bit of a box stacking puzzle. We've had all of the normal tropes of FPS Creator. We've had the vent crawling, key finding, switch throwing, and of course all the bugs. But from a gameplay standpoint, really the only thing left to check off is box stacking, or maybe a bit of light platforming, which I suppose, yeah, we actually kind of have had that already from jumping over to that little teleportation thing. So yeah, very limited feature set, unless you were prepared to kind of script your own stuff. Okay, that's done something. I don't know what. I feel like the minigun might be the best option here, but I will reload this. Okay. Okay, there is an enemy down here. Maybe he was already dead. It's very disconcerting the fact that they kind of disappear and reappear. So, well, we threw a switch. What did it do? Did it open anything? Ah, what about this? Okay. Well, that got him. Of course, I'm almost out of ammo immediately. Did they just pop in? Are they new? Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Maybe they're not new old enemies that I killed. Maybe they're ones that haven't spawned in yet, but for some reason they're displaying. Also, this... Hey, I wonder if we can get up here. If I grabbed one of those boxes. The way these walls open, it's just the Sci-fi door asset that we've seen a million times before, but they've just kind of stacked it next to each other. That's clever. Interesting use of that to kind of create a bit of a false wall effect. I don't know whether this goes anywhere. Secret area? No. That's a shame. I was really hoping for an Easter egg there. Right, so we threw that switch there, which did what exactly? What? Oh, it opened up this. Maybe we were supposed to go up here. Ah, okay, right, so that's what that one does. Cool. Okay, so that's now using some doors that are placed horizontally. We now have a way to cross this lava. Ah, cool. Okay, so level 6 is done. We're closing in on the end of the game here. This is, as you can see, as far as I got with my previous recording of this game, which did not go according to plan because I was throwing OBS all over the place. Gotta just keep remembering to do those little pirouettes. Looks like we're back inside again for this one. I haven't really commented too much on the game itself, but yeah, I think it's I'm finding it quite fun. Yeah, perhaps it is. It's not showing X10 off in the best light. I mean, it's got all of the major features in there. You know, you've got the bloom and you've got the improved graphics and the water, but you can definitely see the bugs are pretty prevalent. So and presumably this is using a version of X10 that was you know, perhaps as patched as it could be or whatever. So this is as good as it got. It didn't get any better than this. It wasn't like the community was able to kind of get their hands on this and tweak it like they were with FPS Creator Classics. So yeah, it's starting to make sense now why you don't see, well, any games really made in X10 because yeah, just not stable enough. And it's actually quite shocking really that that this sort of product was allowed out into the marketplace. Because, okay, say what you will about FPS Creator lacking a bit of visual fidelity, but version 1 is, you know, it's pretty solid. You know, it does have a few little foibles to it. There's definitely ways you can kind of push it too far, but it's, you know, you could at least make a game in it. The same cannot necessarily be said for this engine. Now, we don't appear to have a gun here. Ooh. Oh, that's a trap. That is 100% a trap. That's a proper, like, Quake 2 trap. Put a really cool weapon on a plinth, and then literally the second I grab it, enemies are going to spawn from every side. The difficulty I've got here is that if I pan too far over to the right, my cursor might go onto my second monitor, and I might not actually be able to shoot properly. But anyway, have we got save load? Oh, we do. Didn't know if that was a thing. But let's save. See how we get on. Yep, told you. Oh my god, I gotta reload. There we go. Right, well that's at least given us some ammo. Some different weapons. And we didn't lose too much health. So there was a door back here. This required a key. Something triggered. I think there's a rocket launcher. I think he may have taken out some of these cyborg things. Also, I don't know what the story is behind this game, but like, who are the cyborgs? Why are they working with the aliens? Who are the weird sort of space marine people that were with me at the beginning, but are not here now? I do like a nice powerful weapon. Really makes you feel, funnily enough, powerful. These segments look custom. I certainly don't remember them from FPS Creator. Maybe they're X10 exclusive. They do appear to have normal maps. Now, where does this take me? Okay. That's cool. Awesome. So that's... I thought you were real for a second there, buddy. So that's given me a little bit of extra firepower. I mean, you were a bazooka guy facing completely the wrong direction. I'm not sure if that was deliberate. But also, why would you use a bazooka indoors? So there's something interesting about this this little space here. Obviously, FPS Creator X10 still had that 40 by 40 by 20 grid system that FPSC had, so naturally your levels, without at least a bit of work, end up looking quite boxy. Everything's at 90-degree angles to each other, so there is definitely a look to games made in FPS Creator. But then suddenly you come around here, and this is definitely not 90 degrees. This is 45 degrees. Unheard of. But yeah, it just kind of changes the architecture slightly. Ooh, I wonder if I can fire a bazooka down there. Yes, I can. This guy with his grenades indoors, honestly. Okay, we have a lava pit. I mean, that's cool. Anybody else down here? I think we're okay. Nice. Suddenly we're getting lots of lava and lots of 45-degree angles. Both of which quite unusual to see in a FPSC game. Even though the lava does actually come with FPSC. Probably looks better in this though, because it can actually have the proper sort of illumination values and stuff. It can actually glow and produce light. Better not fall in there. I imagine that is going to kill me. Okay, someone's going to have to explain why these spiders are here. They also don't come with X10. That's a custom asset. I don't know whether that's a community-made asset. Presumably it is. We have encountered spider enemies before in, well, I guess most notably in the FPSC game Spiders. Okay. So level 7 is complete. Time to play the final level of this game. Level 8. What horrors await us? Will there be a boss fight? Let's see. I like the lighting in this one. That's cool. Nice. It's kind of becoming a little bit more realistic. We started off with some quite lurid sort of blues and yellows. The type of colours that you get pretty much, you know, if you just literally drag a light in, a default light from FPS Creator. But to get these sort of shades. It's a little bit more nuanced. You've actually got to go into the color picker and toy around with it a little bit. So perhaps this, what we're seeing here is not just Ghost Lol kind of, you know, playing about here. He's actually developing as he's making this game. He's kind of improving his skills. All of which would come in very handy in his future games, as I keep saying. One day we will get round to playing Game the Game, but it's a much more recent series, franchise, whatever you want to call it, and there are plenty of other FPS Creator games. We've barely made it into the start of the 20s or whatever they call it, you know, from 2010 onwards. So there's a hell of a lot of content to go before we get round to the more modern stuff that's been made with Black Ice Mod. And yeah, like I said before, if you have any FPS Creator X10 games that you know of, then please do send them my way. At some point, I'd also like to check out some of the more modern FPS Creator games as well, the stuff that's been sold on Steam. So that's all kind of part of the plan. Okay, some slightly weird things happening with the lighting there, but that's okay. Right, we have some ambience here. I think that's steam. See, I can understand why spiders would be down here. This makes sense. I'm not sure why they were in that last level. Well, what is this? This pallet looks like it's being used to transport bottles of, well, washing up liquid. Ah! Oh my god. I was not expecting Aragog to be down here. Cans of not Coke. It's getting quite loud down here. There's obviously something down here. I keep triggering things. I don't know what they are. Okay. That's a lot of people. I want a different weapon. I'm going to come back for that health if I need it. Hang on. Oh my god, I've only got 6 bullets left. So I don't have anything else. What am I going to do? Well, look, I need more ammo, basically, and I don't have a weapon that can... There's got to be something else down here. Oh, actually, we are actually walking past a subtle, but this is the final selling point for FPS Creator X10, soft particle effects. So particles did make their way into FPS Creator, but you know, because a particle is basically just an animation on a flat card, where that card intersects with a mesh like this kind of box, you normally get like quite an obvious transition, like a harsh edge, whereas X10 doesn't have that. It works all that out afterwards, or I don't quite know how the shader technique works, but yeah, it doesn't have any of that, so you get these nice soft particles which actually look pretty realistic. Okay, well, I don't have any ammo at all. I'm hoping that if I kind of just wait here long enough, he'll eventually mess up and kill his own teammates. Or he might just continue to throw grenades at me. Like that, which are taking health. Okay, what am I going to do about this? Oh my god, there's a whole room full of them. At least I have a shotgun now. Okay, right. Let's break this up. The guy with the grenades is probably the major concern. Oh. Of course there was time for one last OBS issue. Let's go back and get our health. Oh, we already took it. I forgot about that. Whoops. Wow, we have very little health. Really? You're going to fire that indoors? I didn't think so. Even you're not silly enough to do that. But that does give me a rocket launcher, so this could be quite handy. Oh. Whoops. Getting a bit carried away there with my firepower. And a bit lost. No. Here we go. That hissing is quite loud, if I'm honest. Ow! What? So every barrel in this game is explodable. There's no way to tell a explodable and a non-explodable barrel apart. I wish they were textured differently. Okay, so this looks like a boss fight. I could do with a chain gun, really. I knew there'd be a boss fight. And you can tell he has a health bar. I don't feel like I'm doing any health to him at all. Any damage to him at all. Hang on. Uh-oh. Oh, frame rate, frame rate. Oh my god. That was not fun. Come on, keep going. This is dire. Oh wow, the frame rate is terrible. We're getting there, slowly. Uh-oh. Just went straight through him. Oh, I knew it. That's okay though. As long as I can pick up these rocket launchers, I should be fine. Might take a few lives, but I reckon I've got him. Just keep strafing around him and we've got him. Oh, he's close. He's close to going. Maybe one or two? One or two more? That's it! Ah, nice. Oh my god, and look at that awful frame rate for us to finish on. There we go. Cool. So, that, I think, is the end. There we go. Awesome. So that was Space Warrior. And, well, I mean, I think I pretty much summed it up earlier in my commentary, really, but I think Ghost Lol's being a bit hard on himself, really. I think that's a fairly enjoyable game, aside from the bugs, and that is the problem. The bugs do kind of overshadow it a little bit. Even the visuals, I mean, I know they're supposed to be like, well, you know, next gen for their time, but they weren't that great, let's be honest. But for a little game that was kind of, you know, I'm not going to say thrown together, there's definitely some effort that's gone in there to create that, but it was mostly using stock assets that kind of came with the engine and a few little kind of community-made bits as well. I think it was a decent little game. It was reasonably fun. I kind of hope that there'd be a little bit more kind of ally stuff, especially because we had those Space Marines at the beginning, but I don't know, maybe they couldn't follow you very well, so the developer quickly decided not to use those very much. But the difficulty built gradually over time, which was nice. I suppose the downside of splitting the game up into all those different levels was that you have to kind of get given weapons at the start of every new level, which is a little bit kind of weird and counterintuitive. But, I mean, it allowed us to kind of try out lots of different weapons, I suppose, so that was good. Some of which were not massively sci-fi. Like, I wouldn't have thought a revolver would be a kind of a sci-fi gun, and really an Uzi doesn't really fit either, but... And or the bazooka. I mean, okay, maybe a rocket launcher of some description. You do see that in Doom and things like that, but not that kind of rocket launcher. Not like that. That was very much a modern warfare type weapon. But yeah, so overall, not too bad. I like that it ended in a boss fight. That's quite unusual for an FPSC game. So fair play for that. It actually built up to a nice kind of climax, even though. Yeah, once you kind of worked out what you had to do, it was basically just a matter of like circle strafing and just firing rockets until he went. But yeah, so not a bad game. And if you want to play Space Warrior, it is available to download on IndieDB. There will be a link in the description. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for joining me, and join me again next time when we'll return to playing FPS Creator Classics. But I'm not ruling out playing other X10 games in the future. I just hope that, yeah, perhaps they're not quite as buggy. But, well, we shall see. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye.